All right, so a lot of people don't understand how the YouTube algorithm actually works. It seems like this, some magical thing where it's just you get lucky once in a while. You upload a really good video, it doesn't do well. You upload 5 more really good videos, they don't do well, and then you quit. And a lot of that has to do with simply not understanding how the YouTube algorithm works. And so we're gonna demystify the algorithm in this video. And I'm gonna break it down in a very simple way that's easy to understand, but this is really gonna allow you to be able to understand why certain videos don't do well, even though they are good, and then why other videos do well, even though they're bad, right? Because I'm sure you've seen this a million times. And so to understand the YouTube algorithm, you need to understand that it's really gonna happen in 3 different phases, okay? So phase 1 is when you're brand new, okay? You got a brand new channel. Phase 2 is when you basically get categorized by the algorithm and you start kind of getting known as something. And then phase 3, so you could call this like when the algorithm figures out what your niche is, right? Or your audience, right? And then phase 3 is when you can really blow up, okay? So this is really 3 phases of understanding the algorithm. And if you understand these 3 phases, you're gonna understand why really big channels, for instance, a lot of the time, they can upload terrible content that has terrible thumbnails and terrible titles and, it's not really all that well made and it still does really well. And then you upload amazing content that you put a lot of effort into and it doesn't do well, okay? So let's talk about phase 1. Phase 1 is when you are brand new. And let's talk about kind of the algorithm behavior here. So you upload a video, and the algorithm has no idea about anything about your channel, right? Your channel could be a scam channel. It could be a spam channel, right? The algorithm does not trust you. And so it's going to send your video a very tiny amount of impressions. Now, what are impressions? Impressions are when people see the thumbnail, okay? And it's usually going to send these impressions based on SEO, okay? So this is why SEO, aka what you put in your title, is actually quite important when you have a new channel because the algorithm doesn't know how to categorize your channel very much. So it's going to send impressions based on SEO. So this is why, for instance, Jenna Marbles, I think this was like 5 years back or something, she posted this video called My Dog Pooped. And the thumbnail was a thumbnail of her dog pooping, and it got millions of views. And obviously, My Dog Pooped isn't really a good SEO term, right? It wasn't SEO friendly, and yet the video did really well. Why? Because she had a massive audience, right? So she didn't have to really worry about SEO. And so when you first start, SEO needs to be kind of something that you take into consideration, and it becomes much less important down the line, okay? SEO, in case you didn't know, is search engine optimization. It's like targeting certain keywords, right? Keywords that have search volume. People are actually searching for these keywords. Okay, so it's going to send a low amount of impressions. We're talking like maybe, I don't know, a few hundred, maybe a few thousand max, and then your video is probably going to get like, anywhere from 1 to 100 views, maybe more if your video is really good, right? But it's not going to get that many views. So phase 1, brand new. The algorithm has no idea what your channel is all about, and it's not going to send you that many views. And it's going to take some time for you to get out of what's known as the sandbox. So the sandbox this is something that Google does, and it's also something they do on YouTube because YouTube is owned by Google. And this is where they basically make it to where your channel is not going to break out until you've established that your channel is trustworthy. So your channel has a very, very tiny chance of breaking out At first, because it needs time to establish that your channel is trustworthy. AKA, it's not a scam and it's not a spam channel. So it's going to sandbox you for a little bit. And this is why, you're not going to get that many views at first. And the way to break out of this sandbox as fast as possible is to consistently upload. Okay. Now, the way you consistently upload, and this is something I've talked about in many videos, I'm not going to go over this in detail because it's not really the topic of this video, but use the icon method to find really good video ideas. And then you use the evolution method to test out a bunch of different video ideas. And then when one video does very well, you are basically going to double and quadruple and triple down on that topic, and that is the YouTube content flywheel. Okay, and that's when your channel can really start to blow up. But the most important thing is consistently uploading. You have to consistently upload when you first start the channel so that you can get out of the sandbox as quickly as possible, and you can make it to phase 2, which is when they categorize your channel. So phase 2, niche or category or audience, right? They start to finally find what audience is good for your videos, because in phase 1, remember, they have no idea what your channel's about, no idea who to send your videos to. And so imagine here's the analogy. If I were to send Lakers jerseys, right? I'm a fan of the Lakers in the NBA. If I were to send Lakers jerseys, like ads for Lakers jerseys out to everybody in the entire world, only a very, very tiny percentage of those people would be interested. Less than 1%, right? Less than 1% are going to be interested in Lakers jerseys. But if I were to send those ads out to 1,000 people that are very obviously dedicated Lakers fans, a significant amount of those people, probably 50%, would potentially be interested in buying the jersey, right? So this is the problem with phase 1, is it's only showing like it doesn't know who to show your videos to, so it's not going to just blast it out to everyone. It takes some time. It's going to take some time to figure out who actually enjoys your content. And it's going to be showing it to people who don't enjoy it, and then it's slowly going to figure out how to show your content to people that are very likely to enjoy it. And once it figures that out, you enter into phase 2, which is your channel gets categorized, right? And once you enter into phase 2, you upload a new video, right? So you upload a new video, and what it's going to do is it is going to split test your video. Now, what it'll do is, this is your video, okay? We'll put a little smiley face so you know it's your video. And it is going to split test your video against another video that is not your video. So we'll put a little angry, like sad face there. Competitor, right? And then if your video, it'll split test your video against the competitor's video, and maybe it'll, do 1,000 impressions, right? 1,000 impressions. And then it'll see who got the highest click-through rate, plus also average view duration. Those are the two things that it pays the most attention to. So who got the highest click-through rate between these two, and then also who got the highest average view duration. And whichever one performs the best in terms of watch time, total watch time, we'll move on to the next phase, where they will then split test your video against someone else's. And this time it might be 100, it might be many, many more. It could be 100K impressions or 10K impressions, right? But this is another video that it's going to be split testing you against. And again, this is number 2, right? Competitor number 2. And it's going to split test your video against, 100K impressions, like a lot more. And then if your video then performs the best, you'll get compared to competitor number 3. And maybe this is 1 million impressions, right? And it'll see which one does the best. And then on and on and on, right? And it'll keep going until your video eventually fails. And then it'll stop showing your videos much. Okay, so that's basically how it works. And in this part, it's very important that whenever you get a video that takes off, you're testing videos out. Whenever you get a video that takes off, you need to upload more videos immediately. Stop everything you're doing, analyze why that video took off, and you need to upload more videos immediately on that similar topic or that similar idea. And this is really going to help you when it comes to the niche and category and audience. And it's going to help the algorithm show your content to the right people at the right time. Okay, so this is very important that you understand this. And then finally, phase number 3, this is when you blow up. Okay, and this is when you almost, in some ways, become nicheless. Now, this will probably happen years down the line, but you essentially become borderline nicheless. Now, that is, like, you'll still probably make videos on similar topics and similar subjects, but you can definitely branch out more, right? You don't have to make videos on the same topic over and over and over again because you've built up an audience, right? You've built up an audience of people that know, like, and trust you. And they are going to watch your content. Even if you post about your dog pooping, right? They're going to watch your content. And so they'll watch your content no matter what. And this is when you can make the choice to make mass market content versus, you could still, if you want to, stay niche. Now, both of these have their pluses and minuses. Niche content is easier to make. It's easier to monetize. There's a lot of pluses to it. Mass market content does have its pluses too because you do reach a wider audience. But you have the choice at this point to go mass market or niche. Now, if you make a video, and you'll notice, like, people who do make mass market content, you make a video, how to get rich. That is mass market, right? That's super mass market content. If you make a video on how to get rich with funded options trading, with X platform or something like that, right? Some type of options trading platform. I mentioned this because one of my clients does this, right? How to get rich with funded options trading with X platform. That is niche. Okay, that is niche content. Okay, so you can make a choice to do mass market content or niche content. Now, this one is likely going to get way more views, right? So let's just say this one gets 1 million views, just to make it simple. And this one right here maybe gets, 30K views. However, out of those 1 million views, very, very few people will actually be interested in funded options trading. And of the ones that are interested, most of them will not be very interested. So you might get, like, let's just say 100K that are mildly interested. You might get another 50K that are kinda interested. And probably, like, 5K that are very interested. Whereas with this content, like, most of those 30K people are pretty interested, right? Like, probably like 10 to 30K of those people are interested. So you reach more people and you can get more people interested. But in terms of people that are actually ready to buy, they're kind of like bottom of the funnel, you're going to get more people with this. And it's also easier to make. Additionally, with mass market content, it needs to be heavily edited. Now, you'll notice, like, the best mass market channels out there, an obvious one is like Mr. Beast. Like, he has a great mass market channel. And the best mass market channel out there, anyone can watch. It's engaging / entertaining. right? And it appeals to a broad audience. Okay, so like a 5-year-old could watch it, and also a 90-year-old could watch it and enjoy it, right? Plus, it's the same content again and again, right? Mr. Beast makes the same formats over and over again. And so it's almost like a serialized TV show, right? Where you can just know what to expect, right? Everyone knows what to expect when they turn Friends on. Everyone knows what to expect when they turn The Office on or Breaking Bad, etc. It's like they know what to expect. It's going to be the same thing, or The Price is Right, etc. Right? And so, you can make that choice on whether you want to do that. But just understand that you're in a whole different league at this point, right? You are in a whole different league because the algorithm isn't just giving value to you. You're really giving value back to the algorithm once you get to this point. Because people are coming back to YouTube just to watch you, right? So that's a whole different ballgame to be in. So you really want to understand the different phases of the algorithm. And a lot of people, they'll post some videos. They'll post like 5 or 10 videos and they just give up. A lot of people give up here. A lot of people also mess up here because they don't double down on the stuff that works. And then here, this is where you can really have some fun because you can basically talk about whatever you want, right? Because you've blown up at that phase. All right. So those are the 3 phases. If you want to figure out, your niche and like how niche you should be on YouTube, I actually have a GPT, which I'll put down in the description in the pinned comment below. It'll ask you questions and you can answer those questions and it'll kind of tell you what niche you're in and it'll give you good ideas for video ideas that you can make as well. You really need to understand this, especially in the context of what your goal is, right? If your goal is to just be a business and sell people on something very specific, you might never even move to phase 3. Phase 3 is optional if you're a business. Right? It's totally optional. You don't need to move to phase 3 if you're a business, right? Because you really just want to attract these people right here, the people that are ready to buy. And if you want to do a hell of a lot more work, you can attract more mass market people and kind of convince them to buy. And then kind of funnel them over to this, but that's a lot of work, right? It's easier to just sell people that are already ready to buy and just sell them kind of like they're problem aware, they're solution aware, they're vehicle aware, and then just sell them your unique version of the vehicle, right? And so this is something that a lot of people get confused by. They make content for phase 3 or phase 2 when in reality they're still in phase 1. This is a very, very common mistake that I see people make. Clients, other YouTubers, friends, etc. And so if you are a business owner, coach, consultant, online service provider, or if you're a YouTuber who is maybe getting views, but you're spending too much time on your channel, you want to get it down to a significantly lower amount of time so you can actually focus on building your channel, like focus on your business, not being in your business, then I highly recommend that you book a call with me down in the description in the pinned comment below. Because I can tell, like I've done this a million times before, I've helped a ton of different people that are stuck in these different phases, where they're confused about what phase they're in. And that's the thing that's holding them back, right? I have countless case studies on my channel of people that I've helped. One example would be Antoine, for instance. He was definitely making this mistake. He was trying to make phase 3 content when he was really stuck in phase 1. And Antoine now has a 7-figure business from YouTube. He's crushing it. Just countless other examples. I have a whole playlist of people that we've helped with this type of thing. If you want a free consultation, basically a free demo call where we go over your current situation, figure out what your goal is, make a plan to get from your current situation to your goal, and then see if we're a good fit to work together or not, then go ahead and book a call down in the description and the pinned comment below. And also check out that video from Antoine by clicking right here.